Everything working, guys? What do you guys want me to go over in these replays? To be honest, it's weird because I accidentally played a game on my really high MMR account that I hadn't played in a long time, and then somehow Armani found that account and thought it was me. So he thought I was like 6,800 plus MMR, even though he is also really high right now. So I think he thought he had to play a lot more. He couldn't really play standard against me, and this is partially why he played so weird or so like aggressive. When I was the one that was planning on playing like that originally. Dark told me when we played the, what was it? The China Team League in the finals. In the lobby, Dark told me that Armani thought I was 6'8", and the only reason I could think it was because I accidentally played a game on my account that was 6'8" a long time ago. So it's in league right now. So to be honest, what was I planning? I was planning on going like Roach as the first game and seeing like how it went, and then deciding how to play from there. Because if you're a little better than your opponent at the time in ZVZ, then if you get to the Roach phase, it's like you can very consistently win the games. I wanted to see how he played first, basically, because I had no idea how he was going to play it before this. And I just played pretty normal the first game. What did he see? He saw a layer upgrade. So when he gets the scout, really doesn't tell him much. These gases are a little faster than his. So I think he assumes because of that I'm going mutaless here. Even though like I have a Roach and Evo at the front. There's music. Why when I pause the game does the music pause? This could just be +1 melee and then this in the wall. So that I can block with the queen and make a spire, and that's very normal. So like seeing the Roach and Evo doesn't really tell you much. It's more the gas timing, the layer timing. But like my layer was slower than his. I don't know if that was the correct read for him. And he ended up going 5 gas Roach Nidus, which it's not really that good anymore unless you know like your opponent's going Realisks or something. And I actually didn't know this for a long time because he made the 6 gas. I saw 6 gas, right? I saw a layer. Normal. So it doesn't look weird really to me. Maybe the drone count is a little low here. Like I already have fully saturated all my bases, and if I see the drone count, maybe there's a few drones missing and this gas isn't mining yet. But I didn't really know something was up yet. Then you go for a rescout soon and you would want to see the second Evo. And second Evo. But the one thing that's a little weird so far is he didn't make overload speed, and if you're playing without Spire, then basically you always want to go overload speed unless you're doing something very aggressive. So that was a little weird seeing no overload speed. And then he actually missed killing this changeling, and that's what got me this scout. So this changeling sees this Nidus here, and I'm making my 4th base in my second Evo, which is very normal to do because I see everything was pretty normal up until here. He actually only has 2 guys here as well, so another drone cut. So I immediately, let's go to my vision. I saw the Nidus, and then I send to my main because in case he starts it there, I send my drops. Then I just cancel that, make a spine. debating canceling my fourth. I'm like, yeah, that's the correct decision. Make a spine on my main. And then basically I'm just massing Roach. And I knew I could get some damage with the baneling drop, so as long as I don't die here, I should be winning the game. He actually wasn't really paying much attention. He was probably focused on microing with the second drop. So I got some 16 kills, which is even more than I should have probably. And I sent a bit much here. So the fight didn't go as well as it could. Could have moved the spine a bit earlier as well. And I think the biggest mistake I made this game was I should have... Let's go forward. Here, I should have pulled like some drones here. I killed so many and he already cuts drones to do this build. Then I'm up like what? 23 drones right now. And I'm up this +2 attack upgrade. So I don't mind losing like... even if I lose like 10 drones here, I'm completely fine. So if I pull drones right now, then there's no way I should just convincingly be able to clean this up. Even with his reinforcements coming in. But I waited too long until I lost so many of my roaches that I have like 3 roaches now when I'm pulling the drones. I'm like, I have to pull drones now or I'm going to lose the game. But I definitely should have pulled these guys earlier. And then after it all ends up, I'm up 4 drones. And then I'm up the +2 attack upgrade, but he's up a Nidus. I don't know how many queens he has. He has 0 queens as well. Not sure where they died. He's maybe sent them with his army. So yeah, I have a little bit of a lead right now. I have to be careful of not dying to like follow up Niduses though, so I drone up a bit, but because I lost so many. But then I'm just going to be massing roaches, getting my +1 armor probably. And remaking my 3rd queen. And since I have overload speed, I mostly want to play defensive as he has this Nidus, so I send out a roach drop. I think I had to drop overload somewhere. Left alive. Or maybe I should get a new one. Let's see. Just making roaches, +1 armor. I'm actually down 3 drones here, so I could have made a few more drones probably. Did I lose my over? I lost my overs here somehow. No, I didn't. What am I talking about? Yeah, I should have checked with this drone count. Seen, because he lost drones here, so I could have checked if he remade them, and then I could have either went for a big attack with my +2 advantage, or I could have droned up a bit more first. I was playing a bit extra, overly cautious, I think. But this drop kind of really won me the game in the end, even though I already have a lead. He just didn't see it. He had no overlord. You need an overlord here in CVC. I actually didn't have an overlord in position either for drops. But like this is essential when the other player has overlord speed that you see drops coming. Overlord here, overlord here. Maybe he wasn't focusing on that because he didn't overlord speed himself and he was planning on being aggressive, nidusing. But these overlords should be, like they're not going to die to Ravagers here, so. He lost so much this drop here. And it was right when he moved out too, so his army is so far away. Like, he wanted to do a +2 attack behind his 4th base. But like, if I go to his vision here, like what is he gonna do here? He just sees it now. He's really kind of screwed now. Because I have an upgrade lead. He's taking a lot of damage this drop. And then I can start doing multi-prong attacks after this. Because he has to send more. You normally have to send more units to deal with the opponent's harass than they have themselves, or they can just focus down drones and it's an efficient trade for them. So, like if I send 4 roaches and a drop overload, he needs to send like at least 5 roaches to deal with it. Maybe 6 roaches. 5 and a queen would probably be fine as well. Or like the more you spread out your opponent, the worse it is for them. And since he took so much damage here, I think he just decided to go for it one last time. He has his upgrade just finishing, and he's losing so much behind this. He didn't have much hope, so I'm just posturing very defensively, massing roaches. I have 3 base saturation. Perfectly fine. +1 just finished. basically, I don't want to let him get in a position like here or here. I just block these choke points with my Ravagers. He split up. Could have had a bit better vision, but I saw it with this overload. So I split up as well. Nidus comes down. Didn't have this Roach patrolling. That guy should be patrolling. He lost 13 to this at home. So I'm up 23 drones again at this point and an upgrade. And this caused me a bit of problems, but also gave me an opportunity here. Basically, he wants to pressure here, and if I oversend my army to one side, then he can retreat into that Nidus and then have his whole army on the other side. But he didn't account for these units coming in the back here. So he was planning on retreating to this Nidus, but then I had got this flank off with the units that were initially defending these roaches. So he's unable to retreat to this Nidus and like join these armies in main, and his Ravagers are. So I just have the spine here, and I leave enough roaches to. Well, I actually killed that to like. So these units can't do anything, and then I just sent everything to the main, even though. It was a bit of a bad fight for me. I'm up so much now. The game is over. Yeah, my lead would have been way, way bigger if I pulled drones earlier. For sure. What was map 2? Ever dream. Ah, this game made me very sad. He used like my build against me. I used this build in tournaments so many times, like right before this tournament. I've been doing it like every game on this map. So you make your pool here so you can wall off potentially, either with evos or a full wall to block spine crawlers, because this map is very good for spine crawler rush. And then very standard. Dredsky, thank you for the sub. He was actually a bit scared here. So his second overload this way, it's weird. And he always made his first leans earlier than mine. To scout a bit more. I was playing a bit more greedy. Actually, I was a little bit worried before the series of him doing Ling Bane all-ins, because I had watched a bit of his VODs and he was really liking the 1.5 base saturation Ling Bane all-ins. So I ended up making my, let's go back actually to point this out. Normally the build is to go 2 queens in each base, 3rd base, and then double inject, make your drones, make your Bailey nest, and then Evo, and then 3rd queen way later. But because he did like not like the super early Ling Bane all-ins, I decided to go for fast 3rd queen, get a creep tumor, and then I'd have my Bailey nest in time anyways, but I'd have creep towards my 3rd and a fast 3rd queen with energy for a transfuse. So it would make it much easier for me to defend Ling Bane all-in without having to micro perfectly, which is good for tournaments to have more freedom in making mistakes and still winning. So yeah, I made my 3rd queen very fast in the main, and my Bailey nest much slower, but if I look, it's still, I think his move out would be 340 with this kind of all-in, and my Bailey nest would be done at exactly that timing, so I can morph my Bailings. And then I make creep tumor here. Inject, and just droning up. Scouting a little bit with these lings. See his Bailey nest, so I'm not concerned of some mean builds like roaches. Building speed. And a couple Bailings to be safe. Because I was very concerned I didn't want to get caught off by like Bailings morphing out of my vision.
GL インロー16
Thank you for the sub, and thank you Navgroth for the sub as well. So yeah, 2 base saturation, and I'm just gonna make a bit of Ling Bane, draw up my 3rd, and then go to layer. And actually, a lot of times on this map recently, I've been playing like Proxy Spire in the corner with Roach, like a +1 Roach opening, Proxy in the corner. If you saw WCS, I did that. I did it in the GSL qualifiers and in the China Team League against LB, against Impact. I did it all on this map because you can take the forward 4th gas or the rich gas, and even though they scout it, like they're not going to be concerned about mutas because it's very standard. So they just see +1 roaches, roach speed, 3 base, 4 base. It's all normal until the mutas show up. And then you switch into Ling Bane. So I had a lot of success with that. So, but I had done it a lot, so I didn't want to do it because I thought he would, if he scouted in it, he didn't see overload speed and such. I thought he would be concerned about that possibly happening. Thank you, Navgroth, again for the gifts of the wonderful guy. So I just decided to play standard again. Like the first game, it looked like he was playing pretty aggressive. So playing roaches again is a safe way to play. But he ended up doing like a very similar thing to what I like to do on this map, where he also proxied a Spire up here. And I should have been aware of this. Like I've never seen someone else do this build, which is why I wasn't thinking, but it was kind of obvious, because what you have to do is you send this 3rd queen to hit the Overlord, because there's always Overlord here. So then you sneak out the drone after you, and then I saw the queen like walking way up here, which makes no sense otherwise. And even like if I did that build, I wouldn't send the queen down front. And then another tell is that you don't see Overlord speed from your opponent. And then I got the full scout. Right. Actually, if I clicked on a roach here, you mean melee upgrade, which is really weird. Because this isn't even a good fake. Because I can click on a Zergling and I'm like, oh, hello, he's going mutas. But it's not super normal to check. Maybe I should check like to see the upgrade timing compared to mine. It's good to know when like the +2 will finish if you have a timing before theirs. So it's not like super unusual to check. But I also didn't see overload speed from the scouts, so something was a bit weird. He faked with the 2nd Evo when my overseer was coming in. Just because when you're playing roaches, you want to go usually +2 attack, +1 armor. So he has no plans of upgrading with this Evo, it's just so that it looks a bit more normal what he's doing when I scout here. He might cancel his Evo in a minute, I'm not sure. Missing a drone here that is actually quite bad. No, he just lets it finish. Okay, he just doesn't use it. That's fine too. And I actually didn't cancel this base. I don't even know what I was doing. I was watching it while I was getting a hit. And then I just waited too long to try and press cancel and I got died. That was very bad. Very, very bad. Barely didn't see it. Put it in a good spot. Went for the Bailey drop, hit the spore. And I didn't react fast enough because there was mutas attacking me. So I think I made a series of mistakes here. I think I have to go for it now. Like he has so many mutas so early that I can't defend realistically. So I think I should just attack right across. 730 is when I see these mutas. And he has nothing at home. He has only this. So it would take a long time for him to clean up. But I sent it home. And then I'm like, I can't defend this. There's too many mutas. So I have to send it across the map. But I didn't do that for 12 seconds. And my army was back here. So let's see when this reaches here. So I wasted almost 20 seconds just going back and forth. And then I actually didn't have these roaches hockey. That was another big mistake. These guys are just chilling here. My rally is kind of weird and the overlords are covering me. And I actually left the game here, but I don't think I needed to. See, I saw these links in my base. It's got in my vision. And I'm like, I can't clean this up. So even if I do a lot of damage, with these roaches, which I would have done a lot, then I still lose because these lings kill my drones. So he has the mutas in the end and I lose the game. But I actually had these roaches unhotkeeyed. So if I knew I had these roaches, I just send them here. Split the roaches into his bases after I kill these, and I think I'm in a fine spot because I'll kill a lot of drones. But not having these guys hotkeyed really hurt. And then the decision to turn back right here, that was also
GGS.
Lost me the game there. Thank you. GG's. Yeah, they were not hotkeyed. This is the problem with not using F2 ever. If you don't have something hotkeyed, it's just gonna chill in a corner of the map forever. In this case, under some overlords. So yeah, I don't know if I needed to leave the game here. Like this is, how many roaches do I have here? I have 20 roaches. Plus 1 attack. Yes. 11 roaches with plus 0. These roaches are all about to die, so I would be able to send 10 roach, 10 roach. And he's like hardly even making zerglings. So I could have done a lot of damage if I just sent these to clean this up, but I didn't know I had these. So yeah, just a bit of a late, like a poor reaction when I saw the mutas initially, and then yeah, not having other roaches hockey lost me the game in the end. Plus, I should have known something, like I should have been a bit more thorough with my scouting when I didn't see overload speed. Because overload speed is so standard in the matchup if you're playing roaches. Where is this replay? Sorry, I just decided last minute to send them myself my replays before I packed up, and then I just sent the whole folder, but I had all these games against the computer, so trying to find the actual game. Here we go. So sometimes if I have an idea for a build kind of last minute, I just practice it a bunch of times against the AI. Which is why I had so many AI replays there. And which was what happened this game. But I kind of messed it up a little bit. I had this idea of either taking like a hidden base and then going, because on this map it's so common. The idea behind this is it's so common to play 2 base on this map with a wall off, because you can wall off with 2 buildings here, which makes maps reasonable for playing 2 base on. And then either hiding a base and just playing macro, like say I hide this base, play macro off that, and then he kind of has to, he can't just drone up forever if he sees 2 base, you know, they have to scout more, to be more cautious of like any kind of all-ins, because they don't know what I'm doing behind the wall in. But this gas was too early, is what screwed me up. Sorry, I only rallied on the gas because I didn't want much, but this gas should have started later than this hatchery. And I'll show you why this is such a big issue here. I can't afford this queen right now, which really screws up the build. Like, it's not that late. It might not seem that late to you guys. It's 17 seconds after this one finishes, about 18 seconds. But it means he can just run in with these 2 lings. And then he sees this queen isn't done. And then he knows something is wrong. And I kind of wanted to do like a roach ling all in with this build, make roaches here, and a few here, and then just rally lings behind, and then this cuts to his base so fast that it would be hard for him to stop. But yeah, with like a fake 2-base wall, like roach war and evo, not use the evo, roaches, lings, ling speed. But I already lost the game basically from this go, because he realizes something is wrong immediately. Of course he should. And then he just makes 2 lings and he sends them to look for hidden bases, which is exactly what he should do. So normally you don't check for hidden bases even against, like, I never see people check for hidden bases in ZVZ even against 2-base play, because it's just not really a thing. So the game is basically over at this point. So you're gonna have 3 drones here that die. And then I faked link speed when I used my base, but I didn't cancel it. So I mean, there's not much to say about this game from this point. I'm in a horrible spot. Almost unwinnable. And then I lost when the mute. I was already not in a great spot, and then I lost when the mutas got my other lings got my main base. I actually lost quite a few mutas here. Running over my queens and spores. He lost a lot of mutas. So like, this is not, I'm in a bad spot, but it's not unwinnable now until I ended up getting a lot of queens up, my tech. But then look, this one Zergling slipped in here. So I was a tiny bit out of position. And then once one gets in, they just keep coming in. And everything dies. Just +1 lings. So the game's over. I have no face cam, really? Should be working.
Congrats, Sasha, on making it to RO16. Happy to see you streaming again.
Thank you, thank you. That was the Thor, it gets blocked. Okay, let's go to the series against Prince now. Is it Eternal Empire? But like, after that series, I felt like he was playing worse than I thought he would. So even though I lost that series, I was decently confident of making it out of the group, because I thought I could beat him in the rematch, and then I thought I would beat Prince. Actually, I was quite surprised by Prince's play, because he's a player that's been around, like, I don't know if many of the fans know him, but he's been a decently high-level ladder player for like years and years on the Korean server, so like everyone's played against him like a lot of times over the years. And even though this is the first time I'm making it GSL, like, we kind of knew his style. And he's always played the same style for like years. He's played very similar for the past 2 or 3 years. So I honestly would have, I was kind of expecting him to play kind of normal compared to how he normally does, because I didn't think he would be able to adapt so much in so short of a time after playing the same way for 2 years. But he did. And then, which I think all the fans enjoyed, his unique builds or aggressive builds. But I kind of screwed up here, to be honest. I actually played against this build, because Astray used this build against Dark in the GSL qualifiers, and later he used it against Impact in GSL perhaps. But, and also, I think Parting was using it as well. So I had played against this build before, and it's the one with Forge first, no gate, and then you wall the high ground with pylons. And one of the big tells for this is that the probe is at, the timing doesn't make any sense. So if they went pylon scout, or before pylon and wanted to block your natural, the probe would be before this timing. And if they went gate scout here, the probe would be later than this. They wouldn't scout till after this, the game would be made here. So this the probe timing didn't make sense. And because of that, I ended up pulling a drone to the ramp. But like, I should have. Actually, me and Norga were talking before the series. And I was like, I don't think he's gonna cannon rush. And Norga's like, I think he's gonna cannon rush. Like, Prince isn't a cannon rusher, but in the end, he did cannon rush. So I'm pretty sure even before the pylon started. Yeah, you see here? Because the timing. I'm like, oh, this timing must be a cannon rush. And then I'm like, ah, nah. It's not a cannon rusher. Just some weird build. And I sent it back. And if I sent it, I might have just won the game right there. Been able to block his wall off. Sorry, I should have just been like, whatever. I lose like 10 minerals if I go there and he's not cannon rushing. It was a mistake by me to send this drone back. I don't know if that even showed up on stream. Yeah, and now I send the drone back because the probe goes this direction. But, and you see, I'm like very close to making it. So if I didn't send it back in the first time, I probably would have blocked it. And then even then, like this build I don't think is very good. I don't think the build is very good. But Astray had been practicing a lot and he told me, if you pull 5 drones, kill the pylon and then you can, there's a lot of surface area on the gateway down here. So you can kill the gateway with drones. So that was what I was going to do. But he used a different SimCity with a pylon here, gateway here. So I actually don't get very much surface area on this gateway. I would have had to pull like 9 drones. And even then I might not even kill this gateway. Because I have to go all the way around here. You can make a pylon here if he wants to, maybe. Not sure. And then now the game is rough for me. And then my pool's in range of cannons. And the game is a mess now. I don't know if I can win. But if the pylon wall gets up, this cannon rush starts what? 104, 105. When they make 3 pylons at this timing, you know they don't have a gateway and a gas at home. So normally if they're cannon rushing with gateway, forge, gas, core, cannon rush into robo, they'll have the probe harassing your mineral line until around 130, and then they grab minerals and start going downwards. So if you ever see them grab minerals around 130, like in your diamond master, maybe above, so they have a decently tight build order, then you should probably send a drone down, just in case. But because of this, I know it's like it's either just a cannon here to cancel the hatchery into macro, or it's a gateway version. So the proper response is don't pull these drones here. I can send this drone back, maybe, doesn't really matter. Make a pool, make at least 1 gas. And then I see the gateway start, and I should make a 2nd gas. And then how you beat a stalker cannon rush is you go 2 gas, Ravager, Queen, and you make 2 spines. As close to the ramp as you can get without getting hit by cannons. Just to try and zone the stalkers a little bit so they don't just freely walk up the ramp. And then it should be very simple to clean up the cannon rush from there. But I decided to try this drone pull thing, which I shouldn't have done, because I had practiced in the past using the normal Ravager defense with 2 spines, so I should have stuck to that. Would have been better choice. Yeah, now my pool dies. I'm like, this is so bad. The game is still a little close here. Even though, like, I lost my pool, I pulled 5, 6 drones, even up to 9 drones at one point for no gain, really, except killing a pylon, which he was going to cancel anyways. So, the one nice thing about the pool dying was I got broodlings, which let me clear that cannon with the spine and then clear the building cannon. So these cannons are kind of to zone out spine crawlers from covering the ramp. And then I was trying to make queens, and I'm like, oh, my pool's dead after I made my pool, but this is way too late. If I'm able to constantly make queens, I still might have had a chance of holding this. So a nice target to get is to kill the probe. If you kill the probes, even if you're in a rough spot, you kind of can hold, because they can't make any more batteries. I pull drones here. I think I need to. Just, he has a couple cannons, so if I run into cannon range with the Ravagers, they die really, really quickly. So sometimes with a drone pull, with Ravagers, if you're in a rough spot, you can clear the high ground set up here, which is important. I should have got it. I got one probe, and then I didn't see this probe, I think. Maybe it was chilling behind the battery. No? Yeah, I just wasn't paying attention to that. After I kill this one, I should kill this one right away. And then bile in the center of these batteries, 2 of them would die. I can kill these ones from back here. And then I have a chance of holding this. But this probe starts more batteries. So I have to bile the building batteries. I don't end up killing these ones. And then I kill that way later, but I'm already in a rough spot. And then my pool just finished. I have 500 minerals because I couldn't make queens. So yeah, it was a little bit of a close hold, even though like the start went really badly for me. Okay, let's go to the next game. So Ice and Chrome 3 maybe? Anyone have any questions? You can ask me in chat. Can't you kill the pylon on the high ground if it cancels too? It's hard to kill a pylon. This cannon was misplaced, could have attacked that gas. That's true. Even normally with a normal Ravager spine hold, you can still, even if you lose one gas, you're still fine if you make the gas fast enough, but not in this game, of course. It's hard to kill the pylon because you can just heal it with the batteries. So unless you can kill it before they can heal it with the batteries, it's not that good of a target. What did Jake say to you after that game? Well, we were just laughing about it because we were talking about him possibly cannon rushing before right before that game, and I'm like, oh, he's not going to cannon rush. Yeah, we were just laughing about the fact that he actually cannon rushed me. Like, I'll play a little safer. So he blocks my natural. I don't think he was a player that normally didn't block naturals, so I didn't send my drone out. Normally you'd want to send your drone out around here. 34 maybe, 1 second later. This was a little bit more common until recently. Now it's slightly fallen off, but it's still quite common. So you send your drone out here right now to here, and if you see a probe, you go straight to the third and make a 16 hatch or 17 hatch to the third. But if you don't see it, till now, you have to make 2 more drones and make an 18 hatch. So your build order is just a little bit worse. Not like super worse, but like a little bit worse. The queen is going to be a bit later, you're going to have less larva. You're going to have to make an overlord in your main faster because you're going to be supply blocked because you want supply from the third hatch. So just a little thing, if you think they're going to be possibility of blocking, send the drone out earlier. And then if you see no probe, just go take your natural. Otherwise, go to the third base. That's cool. I was pretty confident. When I see the block on my natural, oh my god, there's no cannon rush or anything super cheesy coming. They can't do something super cheesy when they block your natural, because if they cannon rush your third, you just take your natural and then you're quite far ahead. So I remember people against Haas back in the day, like 3 years ago, they would just take their natural at their third base from the start of the game. Just that he couldn't cannon rush, because if they cannon rush it, if he cannon rushes it, they just take their natural. They're in a great spot. 3 guys on gas. I made my link speed quite quickly. Second overlord. Can you actually play double adept? So fairly certain it's Stargate from here. This guy was scouting for the second adept, for the adept where it moved, and then I went in a bit earlier. As soon as I saw this adept pass, this guy should be scouting. What's up? But I think I see this oracle. Yeah, I see the oracle. This overlord goes to retreat so it doesn't die to a phoenix. Where's my other one? Yeah, this one's just going for a see what's up. Normally it's better to leave it closer to the second gases when you know a Phoenix is coming out and you know it's gonna die anyways. Just because seeing the gas timing is like the best thing you can do. Usually it'll die before you see their text, so if you see no fast double gas, it's more likely to be a depths or something. And if you see faster gas, it could either be 2 Stargate Phoenix or Archon drop. Kind of thing are the common follow-ups to, or even just 3 Oracle. So I just checked the Stargate, no 3 Oracle, that's all I know. Lost a few drones. Unnecessarily. Skip forward. Kill his probe. See his start timing. And to me, this game was very weird. Because I thought he was playing 2 Stargate Phoenix. I didn't get the follow-up scout. I ran this guy away. Because the Phoenix came out usually. He saw this Overlord, so it's most likely he checks for it with the Phoenix, so it's not like it can go in and scout anyways without Overlord speed. Until you can make an Overseer at least. So basically your scouting at this point is limited to these Zerglings. You scout what's at the 3rd base. What's at the natural wall in. If anything's leaving the base, such as a Warp Prism or Phoenix, you want to know. If there's more Oracles coming, you want to see that. Snock is kind of nice because you get these little watchtowers. So I spread out a few lings. Vision here, vision around here. And then I didn't see anything for quite a while. And normally, if it's an Archon drop, this Warp Prism would be, say, here. With the Oracle warping in the Templar, making Archons, picking up, flying into the main. Oracle covers that Zerglings don't kill the Templar. Very, very standard. But I don't know what was happening here. He warped, this is super, super late. So he warped in here. Made Archons, picked up, flew around the very edges of the map. But I don't see anything. So like, this is so late for an Archon drop. I'm just like, and I don't see like a high probe count here. I don't see him warping in any ground units. No sentries. So like, what I'm thinking right now is that he's going to Stargate Phoenix. Wait, he's on 8 gate? He should have died here actually. I thought he was on 6 gate. He only warped in 6 summits, right? Maybe he got supply blocked. Anyways, I was thinking he's going to Stargate Phoenix. So I had a Roach Warrant to be safe, of course. But I'm adding extra queens here. Extra links here. Pulling back my Overlords. So I have no vision here. Because it looks to me like 2 Stargate Phoenix. But this guy goes all around the watchtower. And maybe I could have made a few more roaches. Like I started this spy already. Maybe I +1 melee. So I'm pretty, and I would go Corruptors if it's 2 Stargate Phoenix. But this is like the latest Warp Prism Archon ever. And then since I pulled back my Overlords, because I thought it would be 2 Stargate Phoenix, I actually didn't even see this warping. Maybe I could have had lings a bit more on the map. Yeah, I have a million lings. They could have been a bit more active, like these guys are just chilling here for no reason. I don't even see this warping. I think he only warped in 6 summons. What's up with his gateways? He did get supply block. So that's terrible for him. My neck hurts. Terrible for him. Because normally an 8 gate Archon drop, if there's no roaches, basically you just win the game. With charge zealots. It's a bit weaker now that the zealots don't 2-shot the Zerglings with charge against Zergling based armies. But it's still really hard to hold if you're lacking any roaches. So I see it, I'm like, oh shit, I'm dead. Well, I thought it was 6 gate, so 6 gate, normally I'll take some damage, but it's possible to hold against without roaches already made. Pull back my queens. And then he only warped in 2 more zealots. I guess those were worth the gates that were supply blocked originally. I'm gonna just have his gateway selected to see what happens. Because he didn't really have any units. Look at his money. I feel like I should have died in this situation. So we're paying 6 more zealots, but he lost everything on the bottom. And now these zealots are like running around the ramp. He's lacking 2 because of how the weapons worked out. He didn't actually start an upgrade back at home. Or make any immortals. Or sentries. So his macro is a little bit lacking in the... while he's doing this attack. I guess not sentries because he's warping in zealots, but he should have an immortals and +1 on the way for sure. But I was actually feeling pretty good after he lost. Because if he loses the first round of zealots to the Zerglings, then I can make roaches and you know I'm not gonna die. But if he has the full 8 without warp in, 2 Archons, maybe even just runs into my main base mineral line and warps in 8 more zealots, that's 16 zealots and 2 Archons. And I'm just rallying roaches, like it's hard to stop. But when all the little zealots run into Zerglings with no upgrades and the Archons are just a bit far back, the control could have been better basically. And then he lost the War Prism with the Archon in it. I think he recalled that one. Or did it just die? Where is it? Okay, it just died. Graphics were weird. And he saw the Spire, so I knew he saw the Spire, and I'm like, what's he gonna do? It seemed like a player that could be going to Stargate Phoenix. Because a lot of players, especially the slightly weaker players, like to get the blind counter with the Phoenix. Say I play Trap and he sees a Stargate Spire. Normally what he'll do is he'll make Phoenix 1 at a time out of the Stargate. Maybe make some cannons just in case. But you don't really expect the Zerg to mass a lot of mutas necessarily if they know you saw the Spire. So what he did here was go 3 Stargate Phoenix, which is a very big risk. Because there's no guarantee I'm actually making mutas here. And say I play anything else than mutas, what does super late 3 Stargate Phoenix even do? Like nothing really. Say I scout with an Overseer, see 3 Stargate Phoenix. I can make Corruptors, and I'm in a great spot. I can, like maybe 2, but 3 is a bit pushing it. I can even make Hydras. I know Hydras are kind of bad, but even make Hydras in this situation. Mass Hydra. But I'm like, let's go for the mutas. Get some damage done. I did, let's see what I see. So I saw the 1 Stargate making Phoenix. And I went for the mutas anyways. So I only saw 1 Stargate making Phoenix. But there's actually 2 more down here that I didn't see. So I might have just, I probably should have just canceled all these mutas. If I actually saw these Stargates, I probably would have canceled. So if I see 3 Stargate Phoenix, it's just nonsense to make mutas. So I'm like, now I have a bunch of mutas. He has Phoenix. I know he has a decent Phoenix count since he's making them 1 at a time at least. I don't know. He has mass Phoenix, of course. So I'm like, what I'll do, I have my roaches on the map. I have a bunch of roaches here. I'm gonna go here. He's gonna see it. He's gonna be like, oh, free roaches. The Phoenix, go pick them up, kill them, mutify, and kill the probes. It's okay for me. I trade a lot of, I lose a lot of money, but I'll kill a lot of probes with this trade. So that was my plan. Roaches coming in. And I'm like, oh, Phoenix. That's a lot of Phoenix, I was thinking. God, it's suicide. These mutas right away, they're gonna be useless. But it's perfect, right? Phoenix come, muta go in. Actually, I was planning on even going Hydra Bane behind this, so I didn't really mind if I lose. This roach speed was, I forgot roach speed as well, which factors into this. These could have retreated better. But I was going melee because I was planning on going Hydra Bane. I'm like, oh, roaches, pull away. Gonna kill probes, retreat this, lose some of them, of course. Go to Hydra Bane follow up, +2 melee, +1 range. Hydras will clean up the Phoenix, right? So I'll have a decent army against him. But okay, first off, roach speed not being done. So that hurt me quite a bit. And then I think I didn't actually click these back far enough. Is the biggest reason I almost lost this game here. I want to watch these roaches. Of course, he sees this, he starts more Phoenix. Starts losing a ton of throws. I stutter step a little bit. Where did I click these? I clicked them here. I don't know why I clicked them here. They should be going all the way back to my other units. They're gonna lose some of the retreat. Roach speed finishes. They'll lose a lot less. But like they all go up here. I don't know why I clicked here. I really don't know why I clicked that. Maybe I just clicked back on the minimap while I'm controlling the mutas. But all these roaches end up dying basically. So I had 20 roaches, now I have 4. Say I retreat properly. Maybe I lose 6, 8 roaches, I don't know. 6 roaches, kills them, then he flies back to deal with it. But I lost, what, 16 roaches. So I really have nothing. And he just aim moves immediately, because I lost so many roaches. So the big thing is not like, I lost a bunch of Phoenix, mutas to the Phoenix, now you can counterattack. The biggest problem here was losing these roaches, which were meant to pull the army out of position. I lost too many of them with this kind of maneuver. And then I'm like, oh shit, he has a lot of Phoenix. These Hydras are going to be useless. And I saw this and I started panicking. I'm like, oh my god, I'm dead here. The only reason I didn't die here in the end is because he ran out of energy.
YA Greetings and love to Jake. Happy you managed the next round. Great play. Great coachless than 3.
Thank you, thank you. Appreciate it. So yeah, first off, this melee upgrade because I was planning on going to Hydra Bane didn't help at all in this fight, and then yeah, I lost too many roaches. So I got saved. The Phoenix used a lot of energy picking up the roaches earlier, so I couldn't pick up all the Hydras, or I probably would have just died. So you see here, like it looks like I'm gonna lose the game here, but actually he has only like three lifts left on the Phoenix, maybe 4. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think he has 1 left. 1. Okay, he just got second one, 50 energy. Just got 2 more. And then he actually doesn't have that much money behind this because he lost a lot of probes. So it's hard for him to warp in. But yeah, the biggest problem there was losing these roaches. And then I moved this spore here, and I think he like F2'd these zealots off the spore. He might have actually killed it. I thought he was going to target the spore. And then I'm in a very rough spot because he can just keep warping in. Like he could just insta-kill it with these immortals, for example. But he's just microing, and maybe he doesn't see the spore. His zealots go back to attack it automatically. But his warpism died. The Irby, thank you for this up. So this warpism died, and then that let me defend this, even though he's getting a bit more energy now in the Phoenix. He has no more zealot weapons, so fighting with the drones. He has no zealots fighting these drones, basically. He has like 1 or 2 up here. But like, they can tank a lot of damage from immortals without any upgrades. What? This takes 3 shots to kill. Takes 4 shots to kill with the stalkers. So these drones, they actually tank a lot of damage against these kind of units. Of course, they're terrible against zealots, but they're actually tank a lot for these Hydras. So like, this is a bad trade for me, but it's not the end of the world. And then I thought I lost more drones than I did, so I made 10 more, maybe even more than 10, maybe like 15 more, which was too many. And then he just goes for round 2. So like, what I knew Prince for was, for a long time he would do, say, Stargate opening, whatever, 2 Adept opening, TT drop, whatever opening he would do, he would always follow up with this kind of, normally he'd have +1, I think he just forgot it. But he'd always do Archon, Zealot, Immortal attack. He would never make Storm, so. He was making Banelings. I didn't actually know his probe count was this low. So that's part of the reason why I went up so many. I could have dealt with 74 drones. It would have been completely fine. And then another thing that hurt me was this if this +2 melee upgrade was a +2 range upgrade, my army is primarily Roach Hydra, because that's what ended up happening in the game. Even though my original plan was Hydra Bane. I think I would have just had no trouble at all holding, because +2, I think the Roaches do what, 25% more damage? Hydras do, well, maybe even more than 25% more damage when you take the armor into account. So they do a lot more damage with +2 attack. 30% more maybe against Stella. I'm not doing the math in my head, but a lot of more damage. But he still has these Phoenix, which are annoying. He actually just runs the Zealots into the Banelings, which they could have, more of them could have went up here, which would have been better. But these Spores could have moved in a bit earlier. I'm like, this is a bad fight. Against a lot of Archons. So my goal was just to kill the Warpers again. I'm like, the only way I hold this, probably just kill the Warpers. So I'm like, oh shit, I'm out of GSL now, right? This doesn't look, I have what? 5 Hydras and a Ravager with 0/0. Against Phoenix, Archon, bunch of Zealots, and he has this War Prism. Lost 20 drones. But the War Prism got left on its own and died to 3 Hydras. So I hold once again, but this time 38 drones. Drop or disaster. Drop or disaster. Yeah, it was a little spooky. Playing it as well, I'm like, not like this. Not like this. But now my Lurk with that is done. So even though I lost a million drones, I felt decently okay. So I remade my drones. Of course, everyone knows I like making drones, so I made my drones. And then I'm like, this guy's definitely not gonna make an observer. I see him not killing my creep tumors. I'm like, there's not gonna be an observer following this super far behind. Let's go for Burrow. This is the first time I ever used this in a tournament, probably. Hold fire, except when I played with handicap in a tournament versus a diamond player, and I realized that I couldn't beat Terran without doing something like this. Anyways, hold fire lurkers. Because you had no. This spore should have been like here, maybe. Just to verify there's no observer. To be honest, I thought I was a little. I didn't realize how committed he was. Because there's no reason he has he should have no upgrade here, you know? And if he has +1, maybe +2 almost done, this game looks a lot different. Upgrades are very important for Pro Plus units. So I was a bit more spooked. Like these lurkers, even if he has Observer, I think I have a Spore in front of them with my Roaches. I think I'd be in a fine spot. He couldn't break it. But I just wanted to go for like, I thought I was further behind when I'm actually in a, like probably a really good spot here. So I went for the hold fire lurkers. Baited with my Roaches. He says nothing. He's like, I'm gonna A move and win the game. And then I maybe could have baited a little bit more and then got these Archons. But still, I kill a lot of stuff for free. So I got lurkers, run away. I got 1 Archon. I probably could have got like 3 Archons if I aimed a little bit further. But either way, now I knew that the game was completely fine. I have my Hive, I have my Lurkers, I have my Lurk upgrades. Finally getting these range attacks, which I needed long ago. And I can start making Vipers. I'm playing Viper Lurker. There's no easy way for Protoss to break it, so I can, even if I go into a bad spot, which in this case of course I'm not, I can force late game, which I would be comfortable with against Prince for sure. So from this point I knew the game was, basically I was pretty sure I was going to win. So the War Prism, fast forward it. Taking map control. Waiting for my lurker upgrades so I can move out. Getting some Viper energy, I believe. Yeah, a couple. Where are these Vipers? Oops. So, yeah, time to do some pressure. Split my army off. I made a couple corruptors. They forced the War Prism to recall, I think. So I'm not really worried about any threats. The warp system just recalled. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. So I'd go for it, kill that base. I creep everywhere now. Creep up to his bases. I see the carriers. Oh my god, this is fine. I already have Vipers ready. Get 2 of them out of the 3. So that game should be over here. I end up going up here. There's a choke point here, so I'm in a fine spot. And what I could do is like sit here, segment some of my army off with my Vipers, start clearing those. But I moved a little bit too far to the upwards direction, and it let him move through this choke point. So these lurkers could have left them here, and then sent some of my Roach Hydra to clear this with the Vipers. But I went here. I thought I was gonna win the game with this fight, no matter what. Like I have a million lurkers with +2. He's on 0. I think I realized at this point that he's on 0-0. I'm like, whatever. I can just aim move him. But he got a really, really good surround on this. And the Hydras shoot the interceptors. So I don't actually have that much DPS when he has the surround because the lurkers only really hit 1 or 2 Archons. Then I had 0 larva. So I'm like, oh shit. Is he gonna counterattack or I'm gonna die? But I was not quite in that rough of a spot. Still 25 Hydras with +2. Then I'm like, oh whatever. Let's play it properly. Lurker, Corruptor, Viper. And I start playing more conservative. I know I can win the game, so I just play more conservative. Then counterattack. These have Adrenal, I believe. Space is super dead. Pretty easy clear on this army. You can't really run into this. The High Templar gets zoned so well. And then I can just abduct if he sends the carriers forward. The space dies, I canceled this earlier, so it's just finishing. So the game's over. Resources made this part not so stressful to watch. It was a bit more stressful for me because I wasn't. The game. There were so many points where I was lost that in my mind the game wasn't not as good as the position as it actually was. So I was a bit more concerned than I needed to be, I believe. Let's go to the last game of the series.